Welcome to another video from IELTS Master. For today's video, we are selecting the reading passage 2 from the reading that we had done previously. It will be the same one from Cambridge Part 1, and that will be the passage or the Part 4. And this will be the second part of that reading that we were having the last day. If I'm not wrong, the name of that reading was Glass Capturing the Dance of Light. And this one is the second passage, which is Why Some Women Cross the Finish Line Ahead of Men. Next, let's start with the instruction that is given at the top. You should spend about 20 minutes on questions 14 to 27, which are based on reading passage 2 below. So now we will be going through the passage, trying to see what we understand before jumping onto the questions. If you have already solved the questions, you can follow the video. You can see how we are going through the passage, and at the end, I will be explaining the reasons why we are getting the answers from the specific para. If you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you can subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome blossom. And you can also click on the bell button to have all the notification whenever I'm posting new videos. I will be posting writing videos soon that would be for the grammatical range and accuracy specific. So keep an eye on the channel, and if you like my video, you can share the video, you can comment on my video, anything that helps. So let's begin. So in the starting, we can see there is kind of a picture given, and they're trying to describe the whole situation with the help of that image. Beneath, you can see that recruitment, the course is tougher, but women are staying the distance, reports Andrew Crisp. Tip: whenever you see something with the name of a person in a reading, try to underline it, try to make that bold so that you will be having no issues when you're getting questions after the passage ends, because sometimes the names can be scatteredly given. It is not from the single para, and students, I have seen this struggle a lot to find where the name is coming from. I don't see the name anywhere in the para. Where is it? It is just before the passage that is for our reading. So, whenever you have any doubt with names and questions with names, who said this, which was said by whom, something like that, keep an eye on any nook and cranny of the reading, because there will be the name somewhere in the reading only. There is nothing that is coming outside of the passage, there is nothing coming like randomly. So, this would be a golden tip. Whenever you see a name, just circle that out. Like if you see a name like here, just try to put a bracket or try to make a circle around it so that whenever you are coming back to the passage, that will be something you will be catching at a glance. Okay, and next let's see A. Women who apply for jobs in middle or senior management have a higher success rate than men. So they are talking about percentage like ratio. Women who are applying, they are having higher success rates, so they're trying to compare here. According to an employment survey, the survey tells that men is to women. If they try to compare, it would be women who is having more and more success rate. But of course, far fewer of them apply for these positions. So again, they are also saying that, yeah, women have higher success rate, but less and less, like fewer of those women, they apply for these positions. The study by recruitment consultants NB Selection shows that while 1 in 6 men who appear on interview shortlists get jobs, the figure rises to 1 in 4 for women. So, again, there is kind of a study that has been done by a specific consultant by the name NB Selection, and they have seen that, like, again, you can see a ratio kind of thing in here that 1 out of 6 men, for example, so 6 men, if they are applying, one of them will be selected. Same for women. If they are four, like four women applied for a job, one of them is selected. So the chances for women is more than that of men. But again, women, they are applying less. That has been again said. But if we try to think that in a broader perspective, if 600 men are applying for the job, 100 of them are getting selected, so 500, none, nothing, nada. And if 400 women are applying for that same job, hundreds of them are getting selected. So 300 of them, like only and only 300 of them are getting nothing from the employer, like no reply or you are not selected for the next round, something like that. So chances for women are higher. That's what it is being said. B. The study concentrated on applications for management positions in the, now they are giving you the salary range. So that's $45,000 to $110,000 salary range, and found that women are more successful than men in both the private and public sectors. So again, you can see I don't see any kind of punctuations, which is kind of confusing in readings like this because you don't know where to stop, when to start. So let's stop in here and let's see what the previous lines are saying. So the study has found that the salary range for a management position, so if you are applying for a store manager or if you're applying for supervisor, so management positions, you are trying to manage something, assistant manager. So for that, the salary range is from $45,000 to $110,000. So there is quite a good gap. Okay. And that has been also found that women are more successful than men in both private and public sectors. Dr. Elizabeth Marks from London based NB Selection described the findings as encouraging for women in that they send a positive message to them to apply for interesting management positions. But, she added, we should not lose sight of the fact that significantly fewer women apply for senior positions in comparison with men. So, Dr. Marks, I would say Dr. Marks, yeah. So, what she has found from the studies, she has found that getting more women selected in management position is really a good sign, which sends a positive message, like it encourages women to apply more and more. But again, we should not be overlooking the fact that only few women are applying for that position in comparison to men, like in comparison with men. C. Reasons for higher success rates among women are difficult to isolate. One explanation suggested is that if a woman candidate manages to get on a shortlist, then she has probably already proved herself to be an exceptional candidate. So, if a woman is selected among a large group of applicants, then the chances are she is already being selected and she's already being thought as the next person to be a manager. Dr. Marks said that when women apply for positions, they tend to be better qualified than their male counterparts, but are more selective and conservative in their job search. So Dr. Marks has said that whenever women they are applying for these jobs, it has been seen from the research that women tend to be better for, like, if you try to compare them with men in terms of qualification, and they also do a good bit of survey or research before applying for the jobs. Men, on the other hand, seem to rely on their ability to sell themselves and to convince employers that any shortcomings they have will not prevent them from doing a good job. So, men, on the other hand, they are, like, I would say, they rely on a practical approach, and they try to sell them, that is, I have done this, I can do that, like that, and they try to convince the employers that even if my weakness is this, I will be covering that up with that. For example, whenever you have any interview, employers, they do ask what is your weakness. So you can say, I have a hard time saying no, or I did not have that confidence to say no to somebody, I don't feel right. So that's your drawback. And how will you overcome that? I will try to negotiate in my mind before saying yes. And if I think that it will be over my capacity, I will try to say no. I know that's a shortcoming, but I will try to overcome that. So that's how men try to convince an employer that, yeah, I have this flaw, but I will try to patch up with this. But not in the case of women, because women have the qualification, they are doing the research, they are all prepared for everything when they're applying the job or before they're applying the job. D. Managerial and executive progress made by women is confirmed by the annual survey of boards of directors carried out by Korn Ferry Care Urban International. This year, the survey shows a doubling of the number of women serving as non executive directors compared with the previous year. However, progress remains painfully slow, and there were only 18 posts filled by women out of a total of 354 non executive positions surveyed. So, here again, there is kind of a comparison about a study or a survey that was carried out by all these lovely names. So, Corn Ferry Care Urban International, and in that survey, what was seen that this year the survey shows a doubling of number of women serving as non-executive directors. So yeah, there is kind of a double or 2x in the, like, women applying for non-executive posts, but which is only like 18 posts were filled by them out of 354. So not 10%, it's a larger than that. Like, it's just a fraction of 354. You can see that women are filling the position. Hilary Sears, a partner with Korn Ferry, said, women have raised the level of grades we are employed in, but we have still not broken through the barriers to the top. So she is saying that, yeah, women have raised the level, like they have raised the bar, but again, they have not broken through the barriers, means maybe something is stopping women from applying to the managerial or the non-executive director post, something like that. So yeah, they are taking steps, but there is still far to go. Next, e-para. In Europe, a recent feature of corporate life in the recession has been the delayering of management structures. Recession, we have heard about the term recession, like plenty of news. They say this country is badly hit by recession. So, recession goes hand in hand with economics. And whenever you hear the term recession, it can also come in your essays too. So, it is kind of a temporary decline or temporary economic decline, during which like the trade industrial activity will be reduced to a great extent. And there also they say that there is a fall in the gross like GDP, and this also hits the country things like the basic need, like the utilities and everything, they get their price higher up. Like milk will be doubled in terms of price, and this is something that GDP or the gross domestic product that we say, yeah, I was not getting the word, so gross domestic product, the final value of everything, that can double. So something that can badly hit the country, the state, is recession. And now we are reading more about recession. So let's see. In Europe, a recent feature of corporate life in the recession has been the delayering of management structures. So that's an approach that Europe tried to take during recession. Sears said that this has halted progress for women in as much as delayering has taken place either where women are working or in layers they aspire to. So Sears is saying that this has stopped the progress. Halted means stopped the progress, and so delayering is something that should not be taken like as an approach because it is not good for the development. So the next line says Sears also noted a positive trend from the recession, which has been the growing number of women who have started up on their own. You can relate to this word when you hear startups. So, recession that gave a positive trend because women have their own startups now, they have their own business now, and that's really great according to Sears. F. In business as a whole, there are a number of factors encouraging the prospect of greater equality in the workforce. So, in business as a whole, there are different kinds of factors, and let's see which they are. Demographic trends suggest that the number of women going into employment is steadily increasing. So, women who are applying for jobs and they are getting employed, it is increasing according to demographic trends, like trends that is taken from Public's data. In addition, a far greater number of women are now passing through higher education, making them better qualified to move into management position. So apart from that, women with higher education, they are being like they are getting management positions because they are qualified for that. G. Organizations such as the European Women's Management Development Network, what a big name, okay, provide a range of opportunities for women to enhance their skills and contacts. Through a series of both pan European and national workshops and conferences, the barriers to women in employment are being broken down. So there are some workshops and conferences going on which is trying to reduce the barriers that is between women and employment. However, Ariane Bertine Antal, a director of the International Institute for Organizational Change of ARCAMS in France, said that there is only anecdotal evidence of changes in recruitment patterns. Anecdotal means something that is not necessarily true or reliable. It can be something like not totally based on facts. So that's anecdotal. Okay. And she said It's still so hard for women to even get on to shortlists. There are so many hurdles and barriers. So it is really hard for women to be shortlisted because of some of the barriers they are saying. Antel agreed that there have been some positive signs, but said until there is a belief among employers, until they value the difference, nothing will change. So Antel said that, yeah, there are positive signs, women are being recruited more and more, but there is a long way for women to be successful in terms of, like, if an employer has a belief, if the difference is being valued, only then it will be success in true sense. If not, then no. Okay, so the reading passage for the second part is done in here, and then we will be moving to the questions. Before moving to the questions, if you feel that you will be practicing the questions right now, you can pause the video, do that on your own, take 20 minutes. After that, you can play the video again and check why the answers are coming from the specific locations, and we can do that together. Now let's start with the questions. Questions 14 to 19. Reading passage 2 has 7 paragraphs, A to G. State which paragraph discusses each of the points below. Write the appropriate letter A to G in boxes 14 to 19 on your answer sheet. So again, do not skip what is given as an instruction because that is really important for your examination, and sometimes we can make silly mistakes if we are skipping that. So for this question, it is only mentioning the paragraph names like A to G, which one corresponds to which question, like 14 is A or B or C, like that. And here you can also see that it is not mentioned that one letter can be used more than once or something like that. So if that is not mentioned, it should be better not to repeat, because if the instruction says you can repeat one letter more than once, go for it. If not, just check if you are creating or making that mistake or not. And now we will start with the example, because example should be done in the examination to get, like, it should be kind of a working out session. It is the warming up part of that working out session. So let's start. Example, the salary range studied in the NB selection survey. The answer is in para B. Let's go back to the passage and let's see in para B what we are getting as the answer. So in para B, I can see there is a salary range that is mentioned. Apart from that, let's see if anything else in the question. It is only saying about salary range studied in NB selection survey. So we are on bang on. We are on the correct spot. So this part, let me highlight that or try to highlight that. So this part will be the study that is done by NBE selection that is mentioned in here, and that's the salary range. Nowhere in this passage you will be finding salary range other than this part. So B would be the answer for the example, and that is correct. Let's check the next question, which is 14. The drawbacks of current company restructuring patterns. So restructuring patterns, we read that somewhere, which was the delayering process that I can think of. Let's move back to the para or the passage and see if that's the correct spot. So about the delayering, we read that here in E para. Let's read through the E para and see if that matches with our question. So In Europe, a recent feature of corporate life in the recession has been the delayering of management structure. So, delayering of the management structure and restructuring patterns. You get the word that matches structures. And again, drawback. Let's see where the drawback they are getting from in the passage. Sears said that this has halted progress. So, whatever halted the progress is not a positive approach because that is stopping the development for women in as much as the delayering has taken place either where women are working or in layers they aspire to. So, and again, you can see Sears also noted a positive trend. So that means this trend or this delayering of women in management structures or delayering the management structures is not positive because next only they say this is there is also a positive side. So that says this is not a positive side. And for that reason, for the question 14th, the option would be E paragraph because that's where we are getting everything about delayering or destructuring. Let's move to the next question. Associations that provide support for professional women. So, with this, we have also read about associations providing some kind of seminars, or let's see where we got that. Yeah, sometimes it happens when you are reading, you don't focus which para is saying what, rather, you go on with the passage. But when you come back, it is a bit easier to find. So let's see where we are getting anything about association providing support. Is A para saying something about that? Any association? And I don't see anything because they are only speaking about consultants. Is B para saying anything like that? It is about salary in the beginning, and then we can see there is some kind of motivation going on, but there is nothing about association. C para, let's see. In C para, they are trying to compare what kind of approach women has and what kind of approach men has. So no, not matching with the question. Let's see D para. Is D para saying something about associations that provide support? Let's see. No, it is about the ratio. So let's skip to E para, and I don't think E para will be the appropriate one because E para is already taken. Similarly with B para because that was in the example. So E and B are both gone for good. F para, let's see what they say. They are saying about how women are better and what qualities they are having. So G para, let's see what G para has in stock for us. So in G para, they are saying something about organization, association. They are kind of same thing. So organizations such as, and now the big name, let's highlight the big name. So the organization is European Women's Management Development Network. So that's the association. And what support are they providing? Let's try to see. So there are seminars or workshops, conferences that is trying to lessen or reduce the barrier of women. So that is where we are getting the answer for our question number 15, and that will be G paragraph because other paragraphs are not giving us any information about any organization, especially which is trying to support women professionally. Next question is 16, and in 16, the success rate of female job applicants for management positions. And now we should be knowing that B is gone. Similarly, E is gone and G is gone. So let's go back to the passage and start from the first A paragraph and see what it says. So A paragraph says something about management. So let's dig in what they say. Women who apply for jobs in middle or senior management have a higher success rate than men. What was the question again? The question was the success rate of female job applicants for management position. We are getting that line. We are getting similarly, like everything of that line is just paraphrased in the question. So if we just follow these lines, it will be the exact thing that 16 is saying. So 16 would be option or paragraph A for that reason. 17. Male and female approaches to job applications, and we also read about that in the passage, and now along with B, E, G, and A, let's try to focus now on the remaining paragraphs from the reading. So for 17, let's try skipping A, B, directly going to C. Let's see if the answer is there or not. So the question was about approaches. Reasons for higher success rates among women are difficult to isolate. Okay. One explanation suggested that if a woman candidate manages to get on a short list, then she has probably already proved. So they are just letting you know that, yeah, if they are shortlisted, then yeah, it is almost finalized. Now let's move in the middle section there. You can see women tend to research thoroughly before applying for positions or attending interviews. So that's how women approach to a job. And our question is also something similar, male and female approaches to job applications. Let's proceed and see if men part is also there, which will be there. Men, on the other hand, seem to rely on their ability to sell themselves and to convince employers that any shortcomings they have will not prevent them from doing a good job. So there we can see the difference that is given between the approaches of male and female applying to a job. Let's move to the question number 18. Then by now we know B is gone, C is gone, E is gone, and G is gone. So we are only left with some of the paragraphs, and let's see which paragraph would be the answer for the remaining questions 18 and 19. 18. Reasons why more women are being employed in business sector. Let's move to the passage and see if we can get anything about that. So A, B, C gone. Let's move to D and let's see if D has the answer. D says something about the ratio. And let's see what it says. Managerial and executive progress made by women is confirmed by the annual survey. So, yeah, progress is made. That's what D is saying. And if you just go somewhere in here at the middle, it will say, however, the progress remains painfully slow. So, progress is being done, but that is slow. That is what D is saying at the end. If we see women have raised the levels of grades, so yeah, women have done good, but there is still more left for them to be done. So that's also said in D, and nothing else in the D para. Let's check F because E is done already. In business as a whole, there are a number of factors encouraging the prospect of greater equality in the workforce. So F starts with saying what are the factors that can help with equality, like men and women are getting the same kinds of advantages in job and they're equal in terms of employment. Demographic trends suggest that the number of women going into employment is steadily increasing. So, yeah, there is the graph that is going up and up. In addition to a far greater number of women are now passing through higher education, and yeah, there is also the criteria of education that makes women better qualified. Let's go back to the question and see something matching or no. Reasons why more women are being employed in the business sector. So we read something that is similar to the words in the F para, and if we try to check the second, third, fourth, and the following lines, like from in here, factors encouraging the prospect of greater equality. So those factors are only the reasons, like factors, reasons, and equality means women are being like more women are being employed. Equality is reaching to that level. So more women, if they are being employed, then only we will reach that equality. There will be no gap. So for 18, it will be F, and now 19. And now we are almost done with most of the paragraphs. So A, B, C, E, F, G gone. So let's see what is left. Question: the improvement in female numbers on company management structures. Going back to the para, let's skip A, B, C because we are done. D is not done. And we have seen what D says is D says about the progress made, and though there is a progress, it is still really less. And then what they say again, they say here, however, progress remains painfully slow, and there were still only 18 posts filled by women. For that, this 18 posts, they say that this year the survey shows a doubling of the number of women serving as non executive directors. So, yes, less and less women, we are getting less women, but this number has doubled as of last year, and that is a positivity, and that is an improvement on what? On the numbers of women they are applying. So for 19, it would be D as the answer. Moving to the next set of questions, question 20 to 23. The author makes reference to three consultants in the reading passage. Which of the list of points below do these consultants make in boxes 20 to 23? Right? M, if the point is made by Dr. Marks. S, if the point is made by Hilary Sears. A, if the point is made by Ariane, Berthaud, and Antal. So, again, a tip, go through the instructions carefully, because if you just get that question in a glance, like at a glance, if you see this question, you might feel that, okay, the question is about who said the lines, and you're writing exact the names, like Dr. Marks, Hilary Sears, like that. And that would not give you the correct marks or the score because you are not following the instruction. IELTS is not solely about getting the answer, it is also about following the instruction, how quick you are noticing that, because you are having less time, 20 minutes, to find the answer and also to go through the instruction. So the tip would be, whenever you're going through the questions, you can highlight what is instructed to you to write as the answer, because in that way, if you forget, whenever you're coming back to the set of questions, seeing that you have marked something, it will make you recall why you made that or why you marked that. So that's kind of a quick tip, an easy tip that you can follow for your exam. Let's start with the question 20th. Selection procedure do not favor women. So either this has been said by Dr. Marks or Hilary Sears or Antal. So let's check who said that. And whenever you see names in your reading, try to mark them, because marking the names is kind of doing 50% of your reading question, like solving the questions. And whenever you're having less time, you can just go through the lines near the marking or wherever you see the names, so that you know something or something is matching that is in the question. So let's check where we are having all the names in the question first before jumping on to the answer part. So, if we try to see Dr. Marx's name, let's try to start from in here. We can see Dr. Elizabeth Marx's name first in here, and next let's see where else we see their name, because marking this is again really helpful in your examination. Next we can see the name in here, and if we try to go through, do we see the name anywhere? I don't see the name. I see the change of name and I see Hillary Sears next. So for Hillary, we see it in here. And let's check if we see her name anywhere else. I can see in E that Sears is mentioned again. So let's mark that so that we will be coming back and reading those lines again. And next we have Antel. So I have seen the name in here. And whenever you see the full name, the tip is the name is just the starting, like it is starting from there only if you see the full name. Because next they will be referring to the name as Mr. or Doctor or Mrs. or Professor, something like that. So that's a good tip. If you don't know if the name has been mentioned, you will be knowing it, for example, whenever we were seeing Dr. Marx. So that name has been mentioned before, because Dr. Marx is only referring to the title, that is doctor, and surname like the last name Marx. So the name should have been mentioned before, because that is kind of a reference. Dr. Marx can be anybody, right, at this point. So there is a reference to the name which is like indicated by this Dr. Marx. Okay, and we were seeing Antel in here, and I can see few Antel like in here. Even if you think this like option of reference she said, so that is also something that is referring back to Antel. So whenever you see he said, she said, they said, like that, it will be either they are referring to the male female in the question or the group in the question, for they of course. So let's move back to the set of questions and see what is matching with what. So question 20 says selection procedure do not favor women. Let's go back and see what these paras are saying, starting with Dr. Marx. So Dr. Marx in here says, hmm, so we can see about the study that is going on, and then the name of Dr. Marx with along with the name of that NB selection, and they said that this encourages women. So again, if we try to see what Dr. Marx says in the second para, they like they are trying to glorify women, not glorify in that sense, but they try to say that women are better in like qualification, if they try to say that. So not Dr. Marx for that comment. Next, let's see Hillary Sears and what she says. So with Hillary Shears, she says that women have they have raised their grades, and now like women getting employed is increasing, the number of women getting employed. In this one, she said that delayering has halted the progress. So she was talking about that European feature. Next, we will be seeing Antel. So, however, Antel, the director of this, said that there is only anecdotal evidence of changes in recruitment patterns. So, anecdotal is not legit or not based on true facts. So, this is only like a telltale, like something that is kind of a story, good for a story, but not happening in reality. So that's what Antel has said. So something that is going like negatively. So let's see what else Antel has said. Antel agreed, and yeah, she said so. Antel only said It is still so hard for women to get even onto short lists. There are so many hurdles and barriers. So Antel also said that there are difficulties for women to cross and get shortlisted. Next, Antel agreed that there have been some positive signs, but means the negative signs. Until there is a belief among employers, until they value the difference, nothing will change. So he said that there are positive signs, but there are some signs that are negative, and until those are changed, it won't be like a happy journey for women. So, this part matches quite well with the question that is selection procedure do not favor women. So, yes, there are something that women they are trying to get into the roles, but this part, like until the belief or until employers are valuing the difference, it is still really bad or negative for women. Next, try to see the next question. The number of female run businesses is increasing, and we read about female run business somewhere in para E that I remember because here, and again, you can see Sears' name was mentioned in here. So, this part, Sears also noted a positive trend from the recession, which has been the growing number of women who have start up on their own. So, this part says about businesses run by women, and for that reason, 21 will be Hillary Sears or S, and yeah, 20, the question 20 that we had will be A for Antel. 22, male applicants exceed female applicants for top posts. So, did we read anything like that? Let's move back to the para and start with Marx again. Elizabeth Marx here, and what she said is they sent positive message for them to apply. So they were also saying about the positivity that is there. And next, what she is saying in here will be reasons for higher success rates among women are difficult to isolate. So yeah, why women are getting better in something, it is hard to tell. What else she is saying in the passage? Let's see. Dr. Mark said that when women apply for position, they tend to be better qualified than their male counterparts, but are more selective and conservative in their job search. So, let's see what this line means. So, Dr. Marx is saying that whenever women apply for any position, they are better than males, but women are more selective and conservative, so they do not try to like search for any jobs that would be taking them off from their comfort zone. That can be one thing that Dr. Marx is trying to say. And what was our question then? Male applicants exceed female applicants for top posts. So let's go back. Women tend to research, and yeah, then she tries to compare how men and women try to get into the roles. So, in para C only, it will be in one explanation suggested is that if a women candidate manages to get on a short list, then she has probably already proved herself to be an exceptional candidate. And then this lines that women they don't try to venture more, they don't try to like try any kind of jobs, and that's the reason that only few women they are only applying, like they are doing a research and they're applying, and that's a less number of women are applying, not like a large number of women. Apart from that, when we are checking the B paragraph about the salary range and everything, after that they are also saying we should not lose sight of the fact that significantly fewer women apply for senior position in comparison with men. So if we try to see what Dr. Marx is saying from this line, it would be clear that male applicants exceed female applicants for top post. That is like said in a reverse way, that fewer women apply for senior position like the top post in comparison with men. So for that reason, we are getting the answer for question 22 from B para at the end of B para, and that would be M for Marx. 23. Women hold higher positions now than they used to. So let's see which para is giving us this idea, or which para is giving us this hint. Go back to the passage and let's see. We are done with Dr. Marx and we don't see something like that being said, women holding higher position than they used to. Let's move to para D, where we are having Hilary Sears, and there in the last few lines, if you see, women have raised the level of grades we are employed in, but we have still not broken through barriers on the top or to the top. So again, these lines are saying that women, they hold higher positions than they used to. And for that reason, for our question 23, it will be S for Sears. Moving to the last set of questions, it is question 24 to 27. Using no more than three words, answer the following questions. Write your answer in boxes 24 to 27 on your answer sheet. So the instruction, it says no more than three words. So if you're putting something more than three words, you will lose the mark. Let's begin with the question 24. What change has there been in the number of women in top management positions detailed in annual survey? Going back to the passage, there was an annual survey that we saw in here because, yeah, it said annual survey of boards of directors carried out by Korn Ferry Carry Urban International or CARE Urban International. This year, the survey shows a doubling of the number of women serving as non executive directors. So you can say here doubling, you can say it has doubled or doubled. Try to go with what the passage says, because if you write exactly within the limit, it will not be snatching your bands, you will be getting that score. Next question 25. What aspect of company structuring has disadvantaged women? Whenever you are reading company structuring, only the thing that comes to your mind will be here the delayering of management structure. But again, it is more than three words. Delayering of management structure, four words. So you can just say delayering. That's it. And that will be giving you the marks for your answer. 26. What information tells us that more women are working nowadays? So let's see in the passage something that was telling us about women or the number of women that is increasing. And here we can see that steadily increasing for the number of women. And what is being said in there? Demographic trends. That is only suggesting that the number of women are employed, they are increasing. So that will be the answer, demographic trends. Last question for the passage, question 27. Which group of people should change their attitude to recruitment? We read those lines at the end of the para. Let's see them again. What Antle said. So this, until there is a belief among employers, until they, which is employers only, change. Okay, until they value the difference, nothing will change. So they is referring back to the employers, and for that reason, until the employer they are changing their point of view, nothing is going to change. And point of view, attitude, belief, everything is same. And for that reason, for the answer for this one, it will be employers. So if you have gone through the explanation, you will know how somebody can get 9 bands in reading. And if you follow my upcoming readings too, I will be giving all kinds of tips and tricks. What should you be like not missing in the examination, what you will be looking forward to in the examination for reading, because there are subtle things. If you miss, it would be really bad, because if you miss something, you will make mistake. If you make mistake, you will lose bands. That's how it goes. So keep watching my video, and if you like the video, you can give a thumbs up. That will be boosting me, and I will be bringing more and more videos in the future. Thank you, and all the best for your exams.